Did you hear Chase Briscoe's comments, Tyler, this week on the Let's Go, or not the Let's Go Racing, the Dale Jr. download last week about just the difference in his cars that he's driving now versus Stewart Haas? He broke that down so well, talking about how these cars have a lot more grip and he can do a lot more with them compared to when he was with SHR.
I did not. Tell the folks about what he was saying there.
Yeah, essentially that these cars that he has now, and he wasn't ragging SHR. I think he was just speaking the truth. That he thought all the cars drove the way that they did at SHR, and maybe it was a little bit of a different dynamic with JGR. But getting into the seat of JGR, he gave a great example, and Matt could talk more about this too because he's ripped around Kansas Speedway. But in a Stewart Haas 14 car versus the 19 car, he said he was able to essentially run the car wide open in the 19 team lap after lap on a long run. He couldn't have done that with the 14 team. So even the way these cars are set up are a lot different. How these cars with Joe Gibbs Racing versus the Stewart Haas Racing cars. And again, I don't want to get his comments out of context, but that's essentially what it was. These cars have more grip, that he feels more dialed in on the racetrack and is able to do a lot more with these cars versus when he was with SHR.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
to comment on that, actually, Dom, on the Joe Gibbs Racing side of it, I did hear those comments as well from Chase Briscoe, and I thought it made a whole lot of sense. I know what we're doing on the ARCA side is different scale, certainly, but man, I can tell you those cars are a different class of car. It's pretty incredible racing around them, and basically what he was describing, I can only imagine.
Now, to that point, Matt, when you look at SHR of what they were, that's an organization that had won multiple titles with Tony Stewart and with Kevin Harvick. And towards the end of Kevin Harvick's tenure and then to the close of SHR, there was a significant fall off, obviously, within that organization. And then you see what he does at Joe Gibbs Racing. What do you think the reason was? Is it just that Joe Gibbs Racing is a better team with more funding, or was what would you say is the big of why we're seeing Chase Briscoe have that significant step up in success this year compared to last?
I definitely don't think, at least from the outside looking in, it doesn't seem like it's one thing specifically. It seems like it's really just kind of a lot of different things coming together. I think the cars are obviously the best of the best. I mean, anywhere you go, Joe Gibbs has got the best equipment. I think that there's a big mindset change. I think he's talked about that a lot on a different podcast that he's been on, different interviews. But Joe Gibbs Racing is a lot more, he said it this week. I think it was basically at Stewart Haas. It was, hey, you know what? We were just going to the racetrack. We're having a good time. Wherever we end up, we end up. It is what it is. But at Joe Gibbs Racing, he said all four cars finished in the top 10. I can't remember what race he said. And basically at the competition meeting, you would have thought that they would have run last that day. So I think there's a big mindset, but also the equipment plays a big role in that too.
Yeah, and you look at that 19 team and the speed that they have. Chase Briscoe finishing races here, Dom, and dominating the fashion. This is a Chase Briscoe that we basically haven't seen since his Xfinity Series days. The way that he's performed, and I think too, this is not a knock on Chase whatsoever. But Dom, what I saw early in his career, I'm a bit surprised to see this type of performance out of him because there was flashes, but there wasn't really the consistency there early in his career. And we mentioned there's a lot of factors that were involved there at SHR. But to me, this is a bit surprising to see him take the significant step up that he has. Are you surprised by this?
I'm actually not. I'm not surprised because you knew he was stepping into an organization that expects winning, and if you don't, you're getting cut. And an organization that has all the tools around you to be successful. And we talked about on the show, I think you and I both had said, we wouldn't be surprised if Chase Briscoe wins at least one race and will make the playoffs. Now, I will say maybe what is a little surprising is it are now a multi-win season, all the pole positions that the team has won, the consistency that Briscoe has shown is like what Truex showed in that car. So maybe that is a little surprising, but I'm not shocked that we're seeing the 19 team perform as well as they have in James Small and Chase Briscoe gelling really well together. When you hear of Chase Briscoe dropping weight in the offseason and taking his diet very seriously and his preparation, his research, you knew there were going to be some really big things coming out of that car and that team in 2025. And now the dividends, the fruits of those labor are being enjoyed now.
Yeah, for sure. Matt, let's talk about the rest of the race. What else stood out to you besides Chase Briscoe's performance?